Hey Juliana, how are you? We're in our sixth and final session of this English 5. I hope you had a great weekend and we're ready to start again. In this session, we're looking at adverbial clauses of time. Okay. Basically, a clause is additional information that we use to basically show time in this sense. It's additional information. Okay. That's what a clause is. Okay, so let's look at our grammar explanation. It says adverbial clauses of time. Adverbial clauses of time indicate when something happens and are introduced by subordinating conjunctions like when, while, after, before, since, until, as soon as, and others. They provide additional information about the main clause by specifying the time of the action. Okay. Key features of adverbial clauses of time, subordinating conjunctions. They begin with words that connect the dependent clause, adverbial clause, to the main clause. Okay. So basically, you have a sentence normally has a dependent and an independent clause. A dependent clause makes sense. It is very, very logical and it is fully complete. An independent clause, it's not complete, okay, and that's why it's called independent, because it depends on the dependent clause. Okay. The next one we have time words when, where, why, and how. Adverbial clauses answer questions about the main clause, including when something occurs, okay, where something's occur, why something occurs, and how something occurs. Okay. Dependent clause. They cannot stand alone as complete sentence and must be connected to a main clause. Like I mentioned earlier, dependent clause depend on independent clauses. Okay, examples: when she arrived, the party had already started. So here we have the main clause, the party had already started. Okay, this is a perfectly sound sentence. Okay, and when she arrived is basically dependent. When she arrived depends on this one to be a perfectly good sentence. After the rain stopped, we went for a walk. Before you leave, make sure you lock the door. While I was reading, the phone rang. Since she moved to the city, she has made many new friends. Okay. So if you look at it, the main clauses are excellent. They stand alone. We went for a walk. That's a perfectly good sentence. Make sure the door to lock the door. That is a perfectly good, complete sentence. The phone rang. That is an excellent sentence. She has made many new friends. That is an excellent, perfectly good sentence. Okay. Important notes. Commas are often used to separate adverbial clauses of time when they begin a sentence. Different time conjunctions may require specific verb tenses in the adverbial clause. Adverbial clauses of time can be reduced in certain cases when the subject is the same in both clauses. Okay, and we're going to look at that. Here are some examples of this graphic of conjunctions and examples. Conjunction when. Let's cross the bridge when we come to it. While. We'll keep on driving while there's still daylight. As soon as. The baby can cry as soon as he's born. After. After I have finished my homework, I went to bed. Before. Don't count your chickens before they are hatched. Until. We play cards to kill time until the bus came. Whenever. Always lock your car whenever you leave it. Once. Making an omelet is easy once you've got the knack. As. Dad looked sad and worried as he read the letter. Since. Susan has changed a lot since I last saw her. And by the time she was 8, she could read Greek and Latin. Till they'll keep the book for me till I come back. Every time I ask him about it, I get a different answer. Okay, so that is basically the uses of these conjunctions that we use in time. Okay, we have a nice video coming up. We're gonna look at we're gonna watch a little bit of it. Okay, and it explains in detail exactly what I'm referring. Okay.
Hello, everyone. How are you today? This is Mark. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. I have a very interesting lesson today. If a statement is too complicated to be expressed in one clause, we need to put many clauses together to make one sentence. There are two ways in which we can do this. Let's take a look at the first way. We use one clause as a main clause and then add other clauses to convey subordinate meanings. Now, what do I mean by subordinate? Subordinate means secondary. Secondary meaning, so second in importance. Let's take a look at my first example. He assisted the lady because he felt she needed his help. So the main clause here is highlighted in red. He assisted the lady. So this is the main clause. And then we have because, that I will get to that in a minute. He felt she needed his help. This is a subordinate meaning. So this is secondary in importance. Let's take a look at a second example. They arrived at the station that was far away from downtown. So the main clause here is they arrived at the station. So if we take out the rest, this makes sense, right? They arrived at the station. Now, the subordinate meaning or the subordinate part of the sentence is was far away from downtown. This is extra in the sentence. Let's take a look at the second usage. We can link clauses together. So the example, Mary is a good student, so she deserves a good grade. So these are two clauses linked by a conjunction. I'm going to get to that in a minute. The second example, I arrived home and I got undressed to take a shower, to take or to have a shower in British English. When we put two clauses together, we need to use conjunctions like so and that, because. However, there are three kinds of conjunctions: subordinating, coordinating, and correlative. There is a lesson, not just one lesson, but 3 lessons on subordinating, coordinating, and correlative conjunctions. If you want to watch those lessons, you may click here. Now, a clause which begins with a subordinate conjunction after if, when, as, etc. is called a subordinate clause. And I'm going to give you 2 examples. Let me erase this first. Okay, so here we have the examples. When you see her, say hello for me. So the subordinate clause.
So if you look at it, we just got a very good detail, very nice detail explanation with examples of what time clauses are and what conjunctions are. Okay, let's continue, please. We're going to do reading around, okay, customs around the world. Okay, it says customs around the world. Look at the photo. What do you think is happening in each picture? On the third Monday of October, Jamaicans celebrate National Heroes Day. They honor 7 men and women who were important to Jamaica's history. They are speeches, music, sports, and dancing. They also give awards to local heroes for helping their communities. 2. On August 15 of the lunar calendar, Koreans celebrate Chuseok, also known as Korean Thanksgiving. It's a day when people give thanks for the harvest. Korean families honor their ancestors by going to their graves to take them rice and fruit and clean their graveside, sorry. And number 3, an interesting custom in Thailand is Loy Krathong. A krathong is a bowl made from the bark and leaves of banana trees. It's decorated with a lit candle, 3 lit joss sticks, and flowers. After the rainy season, on the evening of the full moon in November, Thai people float krathongs on the river to pay respect to the river goddess. And number 4, Finland has a unique but very modern custom. It started because some people felt angry when their cell phones didn't work well. They wanted to express their frustration in a humorous way. So every summer there is a cell phone throwing contest. People throw their cell phones as far as possible. The winner receives a prize such as a gold medal. So those are very weird customs around the world. Now let's look at the homework. Okay, it is worth 10 points. Okay, it has to do with adverbial clauses. Okay, so if there are no questions, okay, this is basically today's lesson. You have a great day, and the next time we see or I talk to you, we're going to be doing the exam. Thank you and have a great day. Bye-bye.